The symbiotes have been a part of the Marvel Universe for quite some time now, with the most popular being Venom, associated with the Spider-Man villain, Eddie Brock, and his son Dylan Brock. Lately, many others have been added to the list, including Captain America, the Hulk, and more. Recently, Black Widow bonded with a symbiote named Sliver. Recently, a new altered form of symbiotes was introduced in the latest Marvel comic series Venom War named Zombiotes. However, they're not exactly symbiotes because the relationship with the host is not mutually beneficial. Zombiotes have become a new horror in the Marvel Universe. Their name references the mindlessness of the infected. In today's video, we will explore their origins. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means an awful lot. So thank you and let's begin. The birth of the Zombiotes. Zombiotes are altered forms of symbiotes. Therefore, before going into the events that led to their creation, it is necessary to delve into the origins of symbiotes. The symbiotes have existed since the beginning of the universe, owing their origins to the dark, malevolent deity Null. Chosen to be the King in Black, Null rejected this role to follow an independent path of his own. The first known symbiote, All Black, was created by him to fight and resist the Celestials. All Black was made in the form of a necrosword, which Null used to sever the head of a Celestial. However, later Null was defeated and banished to a planet where the necrosword left him to bond with an inhabitant of the planet, Gore. On this unnamed planet, Null started experimenting with his powers and created symbiotes using the severed head of the Celestial as a forge. During these experiments, he discovered that he would control other beings using these amorphous parasites created for his living abyss, becoming the god of symbiotes. All the symbiotes were connected by a hive mind, with Null at the center of this nexus. After decimating countless civilizations and destroying numerous gods, the link between Null and the hive-minded symbiotes was severed when Thor blasted one of the symbiote dragons, Grendel, using divine lightning. The sudden rupture and the connection caused the vast majority of the symbiotes to bond with the nearest possible hosts, most of whom were noble heroes. This led to positive traits like honor and nobility corrupting the hive mind. In the process, many of the symbiotes achieved individuality as they were no longer mindless foot soldiers of Null. These newly acquired traits in the symbiotes led to them imprisoning Null at the heart of Clintar, the erstwhile throne world of Null. However, centuries later, Null managed to break free and reconnect with many of his symbiotes, only to be ultimately overpowered and destroyed by a cosmic version of Eddie Brock, who subsequently became the new King in Black and the god of symbiotes. After becoming the King in Black, Eddie Brock undergoes various incarnations: Finnegan, Bedlam, Wild, and the Tyro. He becomes Meridius after living through these incarnations over the years. Ultimately, he becomes the Eventuality, who monitors his past selves and the unbeyond. Zombiotes first appeared in Venom Volume number 33. Symbiotes are completely controlled by the King in Black, with Meridius in control during the birth of the Zombiotes. Zombiotes resulted from Meridius' plans to transform Earth into his new Garden of Time. But even before Meridius sparked off the chain of events that led to the creation of Zombiotes, there existed a version of them created by the Epsiloni. The Epsiloni were a race that acted as predators of symbiotes, feeding on their life forces. To lure symbiotes, the Epsiloni learned to use their own life energies to reanimate the remaining symbiotic traces in a dead host's body. This ability helped them utilize the hive mind of symbiotes to attract nearby, stronger ones. After Cletus Cassidy killed Lee Price by ripping apart the maniac symbiote from him, Price was animated by the Trekker captive, a member of the Epsiloni, using the remaining traces of the maniac symbiote in Price's body. Trekker used this as bait to attract the Venom symbiote to feast on it. However, his plans were cut short when Venom bonded with Lee, who then created a feedback loop in which Trekker fed on his own energy, instantly killing him. Soon after Captive's defeat, Meridius arrived, offering Lee Price a better symbiote than the weakened Venom. Price accepted the offer, bonding with Meridius. The traces of the maniac symbiote that were left when Lee Price bonded with Meridius were surrendered by Meridius to Alchemax as part of his larger plan. Unlike the Epsiloni's temporary zombiotes, Alchemax created the K-44 formula using the maniac symbiote's traces to create a stronger and more effective version. The zombiotes' infection spread first became evident during the Alchemax demonstration of the new K-42T formula, designed to neutralize symbiotes, which went terribly wrong. Alchemax's newly evolved Zombiote bonded with a test patient, wreaking havoc before being subdued by the Black Widow with her symbiote Sliver. But this was not the end. Soon, Black Widow, along with Agent Anti-Venom, who was on site for another mission, noticed the spread of the Zombiotes at Alchemax. Using the Zombiotes entirely under his control, Meridius advanced his goal of overtaking Earth by spreading the infection. The Zombiotes are explored further in the Venom War series, which recently concluded. I'll leave their fate and status for you to explore. The powers and horrors of the Zombiotes. Venom's description of Zombiote speaks a lot about the nature of Zombiote in a few words. Old traces, fermented in rotten blood, discarded symbiote cells steered to an unholy life. A zombie symbiote, a zombiote. When Black Widow asks her symbiote Sliver whether they can communicate with a new strain of symbiotes, Sliver responds in negative, telling Widow that they are mindless. This mindlessness highlights the nature of symbiotes during Null's reign, where their sole purpose was to serve him. However, as more traits of Zombiotes come to light, it becomes evident that they are entirely subsumed by Meridius' will, devoid of even the possibility of independent existence like symbiotes. There are two types of Zombiotes, crawlers and swingers. Crawlers are dead beings reanimated by the zombie symbiotes, while swingers are living beings infected by the aggressive spread of zombiotes. Their powers and abilities vary depending on the nature of the host. Crawlers have limited mobility due to their decayed and incomplete bodies, but make up for this limitation with overwhelming numbers. It is easier to convert deceased beings who lack individuality or identity than living beings, hence their greater numbers. On the other hand, swingers are more aggressive, agile, and predatory compared to crawlers. As living hosts, they have a broader range of powers, especially if they are infected superhumans. In addition to these abilities, swingers maintain some of their intelligence, although it is used only to spread the infection. This intelligence makes them more dangerous as it allows them to coordinate their attacks better. Both types have grotesque appearances, with crawlers being more gory than swingers due to their rotting body parts. They both possess the characteristic symbiotic tendrils. The zombiotes have an organic webbing ability which allows them to produce a type of silk webbing like Spider-Man. This webbing ability enables them to attack as well as enhance their mobility. All of them are connected via hive mind, with Meridius forming the nexus. This connection helps them better coordinate their attacks and avoid being cornered by others. Like other symbiotes, they have the ability to crawl on walls, their sticky, gooey physique helping them stick to surfaces. The zombiotes are indiscriminate in their attacks, mindlessly and brutally infecting others. The comics depict this in gory detail. The crawlers' use of decayed limbs is horrific, and their slow, relentless movements heighten the tension. On the other hand, the swingers use high-speed ambushes with their sharp tendrils to crush bones and split flesh. Although the zombiotes possess immense powers and an ever-increasing number due to the ease of spreading the infection, they are not invincible, as they exhibit several weaknesses. The hidden project within Alchemax named the K-Program created bullets crafted to neutralize zombiotes. These bullets, coated with a special chemical, disrupt the link between the symbiote and the host, leading to the symbiotes debonding from the host. In the past, when Eddie Brock was being treated for cancer, Martin Lee unknowingly brought some of the venom cells in Brock's body back to life. These cells combined with the white blood cells to create a new anti-venom symbiote. As the name suggests, the anti-venom symbiote is devastating for other symbiotes, including the zombiotes. The anti-venom symbiote functions almost in the same way towards symbiotes as white blood cells due to foreign elements in the body. Even an anti-venom touch is therefore a powerful weapon against zombiotes. Apart from the anti-venom, Misery and Silence, who possess the same genetic code, were able to debond the zombiotes from many infected individuals. Another weakness, mimicking normal symbiotes, is high-pitched frequencies. For example, Keen Burke was able to subdue the zombiotes using a high-pitched frequency emitted by his malfunctioning hearing aid. The Zombiote Society. As their creation was facilitated by Meridius' goal of transforming Earth into its Garden of Time, their sole purpose was to infect as many beings as possible to bring them under the control of the King in Black. Unlike the symbiote's hive mind, whose control shifted among different individuals at various points in time, it was almost impossible to wrest control of the zombiote's hive mind from Meridius. It wasn't as if no one attempted to do it. For example, in Venom War Carnage number 2, a person tries to take control using a technological device. However, there wasn't much they could do. Instead, that person's mind itself became overwhelmed and was brought under the hive mind's control. Swingers carried the possibility of being saved as they were still living people, unlike crawlers. Zombiotes were created as an entirely new species, distinct from symbiotes, which is evident from the fact that the already existing symbiotes failed to communicate with them. But what if the zombiotes' connection with Meridius is severed? The climax of the Venom War series answers this question. Marvel's conclusion. Marvel's introduction of zombiotes gives immense potential to the storyline. A recent popular exploration of the idea of zombies was seen in the MCU's What If series. In its 5th episode titled What If Zombies, we see an alternate reality Earth succumbing to a quantum virus outbreak, transforming the inhabitants, including Marvel heroes, into zombies. Although the representation of zombiotes and What If Zombies do not carry much similarity, the idea of drawing a connection can still be pretty much explored. The Marvel Cinematic Universe still has not explored or has explored very little about many of the concepts used in Marvel Comics, including quantum reality. So, will the idea of a virus and What If being a distant relative of Zombiote be a far-fetched idea? What do you guys think? If it is a far-fetched idea, how about exploring the Zombiotes as it is in the comics? I mean, imagine zombie She-Hulk rampaging and infecting others. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.